Welcome back to the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show, coming to you live from Salisbury Center Studios on the Wylde Style Network, fueled by Monster Energy. And we're back, and we're on the eve of Labor Day weekend, so the end of summertime.
It's like Grease and doing a little summer loving. You know, like we're doing summer nights right now, me and you.
Right.
Like a little reflection on great things that happened, because it was a great summer.
It was awesome summer.
It was a busy summer.
Very busy summer.
Yeah, I feel like that we recorded a shit ton of content. Like we interviewed a lot of bands. We had a lot of summer discussions. We really plowed through a lot of segments. I feel like Scott's been busy chopping up a lot of stuff that we've done. You know, because we would come in, like some of these festivals was a great example. We probably had, 2-3 hours worth of material just off of one night.
Absolutely. And then, and a lot of stuff was going on here at the Salisbury Center too. So
right.
Got to talk to quite a few bands, quite a few new bands and you know, we had Local Palooza, we had the spotlights on Friday nights.
Yes.
So there was a ton of stuff going on. Just a lot of great live music this summer.
Love it. So but right now we're going to, in reflecting, because you and I had started talking, we were texting back and forth, talking in this day and age, the way people do. That we're going to reflect a little bit on this and share our favorite, because I get this a lot, at least I get asked, like, what'd you see this summer that you love so much? So we're going to reflect back on our favorite live summer moments. So, and because I think, Kevin, you and I were talking, we're going to split this conversation, because we had so many good events here.
Yep.
It's hard to remove them from some of the events outside. When I say here, I mean the Salisbury Center, outside of the Salisbury Center.
Yep.
So we're going to talk maybe live events outside of the Salisbury Center, and then here at the Salisbury Center, since it's such a great live music venue.
Yep, and there may be some crossover.
Right. You want to do a reverse reveal? So I'm 3, 2, 1.
Sure.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I will go first.
Oh wow, man, it's very domineering of you.
Well, my list was a little bit easier to come by because I didn't go to quite as many shows as you went to this summer. So
wait, somebody calling in? Oh, I was hoping somebody's calling in with some of their favorite shows. I know what Scott's is.
What?
Fall Out Boy.
Oh, I saw more.
Well, then we're going to get to you.
No, I
know.
Oh.
Yeah, Jeff knows.
All right. Well, then wait. You wait your turn. All right.
So my number 3 show outside of the overall, let's call it, it was Buck Cherry.
Buck Cherry.
Yep, at Tally Ho.
That's a good show. It was a great show.
Awesome show. They always put on a great show.
Yeah. So like, what stood out for you for that one?
For me, it was
the drunk girl that was with us.
Which one? There were 2.
Yeah, I know they'll be listening to that later.
And Green Bay Ray.
And the drunk guy that was with us. Yeah.
No, Josh Todd just puts on a great show. He's a fantastic front man. You know, we had seen them, what was it? The previous time was probably about 10, 11 months before we saw them this most recent time.
They are road dogs, man.
They are road dogs.
They're always touring.
And the new album has only been out about 6 weeks or so.
I know.
But I was shocked at how much stuff that was on this new album that we also had already seen the previous time.
Sure.
So that struck me too. But you know, it was a great show. It wasn't quite as crowded as the previous time we saw them at Tally Ho.
Yeah, because it was in the middle of the week. It was like early in the week too, like a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah, so it was a great vibe. You know, we were able to get pretty close to the stage without throwing elbows or anything. So yeah, it was just a fun show.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I am factoring the crowd experience into my decision making. Like on this, and as we're getting older, you know, like I'm getting an old man, and damn it, all these people around me. So like that is a part of it. But I mean, it's part of a show, right?
Yeah.
Like the crowd experience is part of the show. So I'm gonna go with, look, I bought visuals, but I don't have very clean visuals. I should have worked a little bit more with the art department to make these a little more spiffy. My number 3 with my visuals are the Queens of the Stone Age. I saw them at the Anthem. And so like just a good, strong live performance. I think we've talked a lot about backing tracks and the deterioration of bands and how they accommodate that.
Yep.
And then if we like that or not, I think it's consistent in all of my choices that even if musicians are aging, and I would not say that Josh Homme is an aging musician. I guess he's in his 40s. So he's not in his 50s yet, but he's shown no deterioration in any of his playing, and neither is anyone in the band. So there's been rotation through Queens of the Stone Age, but just an amazing, solid live performance. He's had health issues, so he's rebounding from health issues, put out a new album, and that's going to be another topic. I have a feeling like when we get into December, we're going to do yearly reflection instead of summer reflection. So we'll be talking about live albums. I love their new album. Not live albums, they're studio albums, but new albums, newly released albums. And so that performance just backed up everything in a sold-out anthem show and a legit pit. So in talking about the crowd experience, the front of that floor is enormous, and I would say there were at one point several hundred people that were pitting old school into the show, and just that energy is amazing. So that's my number 3.
All right. Mr. Scott.
Yeah, do you have 3? Do you have 3 that you want to throw in?
I only saw 2, so I can't say 3.
You only saw 2?
This summer, believe it or not, yeah.
You had an opener for Fall Out Boy, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Bring Me the Horizon, though. You're right. I'll give it to them. Sure, if that counts.
All right. Well, that was just, I didn't mean to blow off your number 3.
Yeah, no, it's wah, wah, wah. They're trying to be cool, seeing all the shows.
My 3rd favorite band was The Horizon because that was the 3rd band I saw. So that was basically your justification.
Literally.
All right. Well, I don't know. You got one there, Mr. Salisbury? You look like you're fired up. And
I hate to do it, but I don't know. I'll go with number 3, Jackal.
I didn't know you saw them.
Yeah.
Was that Tally Ho?
Did you?
Yeah. That was Tally Ho.
Awesome. Yeah, I know you've been a lifelong fan of them.
Oh yeah. They were awesome too.
Yeah.
He's losing his voice a little bit, but he still puts on a great show. Had the crowd into it. It was good.
Did he chainsaw it up?
He did, of course. Closed it out with a chainsaw.
But you're saying with like voice deterioration, I don't mind a little voice deterioration if he's still bringing it. That's what you're saying. Like, he still brings it. Like that's
great.
I
mean, it's hard the way that he sings. It's hard to maintain that even at 30.
Yeah.
But he's probably 60 now or late 50s at least.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, it was good. It was
forgot.
Really good.
I just didn't put 2 and 2 together that you went to that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I was.
Mine are gonna be lame because I don't go to too many concerts, but
well, we're outside the Salisbury Center. When you get inside of the Salisbury Center, you will have seen everything. So you're not gonna be lame there.
Yeah. I'll give an honorable mention to the Reagan years.
Okay.
They were actually really good.
Yeah, I've heard great things about them. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
One number 2 there, Kevin.
Lynch Mob.
I didn't get to that. You're gonna punch me in the stomach for that one. That sucks.
It was, there are a lot of reasons why I love that show.
I was at Ed Sheeran that night.
Is that on the list?
I love you, Ashley.
We've talked about this already. I had not seen Dokken or George Lynch since Monsters of Rock in '88. So missed them any of the times when they were at Jack's before they. Well, I don't think they ever played together at Jack's, but in the M3 shows, any of that kind of stuff when he would have been there. So unfortunately, I hadn't seen him, but they put on a phenomenal show. Played some deep Dokken cuts, which was awesome. And
they played the Hunter, didn't they?
They did.
The Hunter, excuse me for my enunciation on that.
Yes, they did. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
They got a new album coming out right around Halloween, and they played 3 or 4 songs off of that. Yeah. That stuff all sounded phenomenal, and George still has it.
I was about to say, George is still George.
He is. He was on, and he was engaged with the crowd and social, and so it was cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Kevin, you remember when I totally wanted to look like George Lynch?
I do.
In high school. I did everything I could to look like George Lynch.
I do remember that.
I still would look like George Lynch. He still looks great.
Yeah.
All right. I would agree with that. I did not go to that, and you broke my heart on that story, but because they don't come around, they don't come up the East Coast all too often.
No, but I think they're going to be back with this new album coming out.
I'm loving that. I'm loving you saying that. Did they? And I know the merch was always kind of iffy with them.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they didn't refresh that in any kind of.
Oh no, not at all.
And the crowd.
The crowd was great. Yeah, it was packed and everyone was into it. And, there were a couple knuckleheads behind us at every chance they got and were screaming,
Dokken.
Play Dokken.
No, like Lynch Mob stuff at all.
No, they just wanted to hear Dokken.
They don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
All All right, my number 2 is the Foo Fighters at the Sonic Temple Festival in Columbus, Ohio, because it was just so thrilling to see them back again. A little bit of a bend to me on this show, that it was a little bit more somber than other Foo Fighters shows that I've seen, because, for obvious reasons, as they're, kind of memorializing Taylor Hawkins. But Josh Freese certainly stepped up and was a beast at that show. And Dave Grohl has his personality. And in terms of a crowd, like I'm again leaning towards the pit. So like it was a legit crowd surfing, high energy, positive energy. And you know the difference between pits. There's angry pits and then there's fun pits. And this was a fun pit with fun people. And I was able to bring my teenage stepchildren into that one, and they survived and loved every second of it.
So did you, speaking of pits, did you see the Jason Momoa pit?
No, I did not.
So Jason Momoa was in the pit for Pantera and Metallica.
I think I did hear
And
about
that pit is way different than it was 30 years ago when I saw him, I mean, everybody's like too old to
It was a
to
gentle
mosh.
pit?
It looked like Ring Around the Rosie more than a pit.
Oh, because the Anthrax pit
Yes.
at the Fillmore
was
was
thinking-
intense.
with older dudes. We were at the Fillmore this time last year when Anthrax came around their 40th anniversary tour, and it was solid. Like that pit was
Really?
humming.
Yeah, I think maybe some of the guys didn't want to try and take on Jason Momoa also.
I don't think he win that one.
So there's video out of that?
Yeah, it was on TMZ. I saw it.
Oh, I got to see it.
I know,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
guilty
yeah.
pleasure,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, no.
The last pit I was in with long hair was Metallica on the Black Album tour in Roanoke, and it was violent. I had people yanking me by my hair.
Yes.
I was like, come on, man.
Hey, man, that's not cool.
D. Damon.
Yeah.
Damon would get nowhere near it.
Screw you guys. I'm not getting in it. I got to be able to count my money.
Scott, you have a number 2. You have seen at least 2 bands.
2 real headliners. So
All
yes,
right.
you guys got it.
So
Fall Out
now-
Boy would be number 2.
Oh, Fall Out Boy's number 2.
Yep.
I was going to count them as number 1.
I saw somebody last week who's number 1.
Oh,
I've seen him.
Apparently, he's like,
Was it Nickelback?
I'm politically incorrect. He's super gay for this band.
So
Okay, people will be hating, haters be hating,
It's
but
not a
you're
recent-
secretly a closeted fan.
But just
yeah,
bef-
listen. I know, apparently, it was so packed. There's tons of closeted fans.
yeah.
Okay, we're talking about number 2 here.
Yeah, number 2's Fall
And
Out
it
Boy.
wasn't just because it's the most recent thing that you saw, you put that at number 1. Because
Oh,
if
absolutely
it's
not.
fresh in your memory,
I will
you
say
tend
my
to
number
lean
1
that
I've
way.
seen 3 times before as well. So
Yeah. All right. What you got there, Lou?
He loves Chad Kroger secretly.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Kicks.
Okay, so Kicks at
Tally
Dewey.
Ho.
Oh, at Tally Ho. Wait a minute.
That's number 2? Was that this year?
Yeah.
What was that last year?
That was in
Jeff's
November.
That was in November.
Oh, yeah, that's
we're,
right.
we're doing summer shows. So I mean,
Oh,
you
summer shows.
You can go Bottle and Cork. That's where I thought you were going.
No.
All right.
I don't even know if I've been to 2. So I guess Reagan years would have to be number 3 and Jackal number 2. Bands outside of here, I can't even remember any other bands.
I think I know where your number 1 is going now.
Yeah,
All right. So with that said, you want to go to number 1?
Sure. Number
All right,
1.
Number 1. I'm dying to. Oh, Kevin's wearing it. He's got the visual on. All right. So
GNR Hershey.
I was at that show, and that was a slick show. But there's a reason it did not make my top 3. But I'm gonna let you talk first.
Yeah. And I was probably going to bring it up. But no, it was, it was a great show. I mean, we had
3
great
hours.
seats,
3 hours.
3-hour set.
Yep.
you
Foo
know.
Fighters are 3 hours also.
Yeah. I mean, Slash and Duff, the rest of the band, just
Yeah.
completely on point again. And, relative to when we saw them in Baltimore,
Yeah.
I thought Axl's was better.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, there were backing tracks.
He was definitely using backing tracks.
So,
Yeah, I never, my girlfriend looked over at me and said, "Who is singing right now?" When there were lyrics flying all over the place
Right.
and nobody was on a mic.
but it was a great show.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
the whole experience was phenomenal. And, having seen them probably 10, 11 times, right up there with every time I've seen them.
Right. So, okay, so I'm going to complain because I'm being a bitch and complaining. But like the crowd experience turned that away from my top 3 because I wanted it to be in my top 3 for so like, because I love a Guns N' Roses show. So I really wanted to be up there. So obviously it's not going to be my number 1. I'm going to get to my number 1. But like, yeah, so we had the experience of like older people and almost like in a general admission sense, kind of pushing in to where, we were sitting and you were on the far end of that.
Right.
So I was on the edge of it where this crew was pushing into us, so I had to deal with that. I had to deal with that for like, make a long story short, for probably a good solid 15, 20 minutes of uncomfortable pleasantness. And then like, you know what I mean? You're there, you're partying, you're feeling the tunes, you want to rock out again, but you just got all angry and chesty with a whole bunch of people beside you, and then you have to stand there beside them. And that just broke my heart a little bit on that shit. So I'm blaming the crowd.
I wanted to get down there.
I know. And that was another thing that was on my mind, that I had to keep you back where you were so that we would stay inside of the show. And we did for all this. Look, you know where I'm going. Number 1, you just can't, there's no such thing as a bad Living Color show. So Living Color for me at the Tally Ho, again, like in terms of talking about musicianship, these guys are older than us and they just keep getting better and better and better. So where someone needs backing tracks, I almost had this, like if I go and we do our yearly reflection, we saw Corey Glover at the Tally Ho, and I could easily put that right up there with this Living Color show, just him solo, because of the power of his vocal presence and being the phenom vocalist that he is.
Did they play Queen of the Reich?
They would have beasted that song. The other thing that like watching Living Color, like I feel like it's definitely a jazz feel to them, where they will play a song that are definitely recognizable, like Cult of Personality, but they don't play it the same way each time. And when they do, they play it and they just crush it in a kick-ass kind of way. And they certainly did. Very successful tour. I wish that we could see him with Extreme. I think that we would be struggling between 1s and 2s, if we would see him on that Extreme tour, because I have a feeling Extreme is playing just as well as Living Color right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I have as my number 1 show. It was a phenom of a night. Scott's going with...
Okay, it's Nickelback. But before you say anything, you guys talk about a lot of rock bands. On 0 to 10, where do you rate Nickelback?
11.
Oh, no, you're joking. Wait, that means good, right? Or is he capping?
He's gaslit.
What about you, Jeff? Come on, give me something good.
I would, in all seriousness, I would give Nickelback a 7 or an 8.
Thank you. See?
They don't bother me. I know they bother a lot of
Kevin over
people.
there smirking, yeah.
They bother, obviously, Dave Grohl, like, comes out against them, like, left and right.
I don't know why they're hated so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a throwback almost to, like, which I don't think that they deserve, like, the bad side of glam metal, the formulaic side of glam metal. That's what I think that, other artists kind of like push them into, but I don't feel that they're that. I feel like they have a lot more to them than
Totally agree.
Yeah.
How was the country opener?
Oh, you saw that? Yeah, new topic.
Didn't make the top 3.
I don't even know who it was. Bradley Gilbert or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your son went to that show.
No, really?
Yeah. Jake went to that show.
Jake did go.
Where was the seats?
Yeah.
Probably on the lawn.
I was up closer.
He's cheap.
No, it was good. Did he like it?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. You
I
didn't
didn't
ask
ask
him?
him.
What?
No.
Nickelback rate's 11 for you, right? Yeah.
Kevin's a thrash metal guy. So he probably puts Nickelback in that camp of
Damn.
Yeah,
So sad.
Yeah, formulaic cheesy kind of.
They have that one good song that was on WWE Raw. Was the opening theme song for that for a while. That song was pretty cool.
I like Chad Kroeger did a cover of Saturday Night, the Elton John Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting with Kid Rock. And I think that is a slick cover.
He's been around for a hot minute, too.
Yeah. Yep. It's a slick cover.
What's yours, Jeff? Number 1.
Living Color.
No way. Is it actually?
No. Not when Kix is out there.
I knew it.
Kix at Dewey Beach, of course.
Look, I wrestled with that, man, because if the Kix hadn't played the Salisbury Center, I'd have a harder time with my top 3. So, like, I'm keeping Kix inside of the Salisbury Center, and that is the only reason they're not in my top 3.
I get it.
So go ahead.
I haven't seen as many.
Yeah. But that Dewey show...
Kix at Dewey, yeah.
That Dewey show I thought it was just a great summertime beach show. It felt like we were at the beach, like watching a great, like strong live band. And you just had a beach party feel to it.
You're blocking chicks' views.
look, like talking that crowd experience, like she came at me, like as crowds. Green Bay Ray describes me as a lightning rod for some reason. Like people come at me, and like she came at me.
Seems to be,
and like we diffused her. She was cool. Like we wound up like hanging and drinking with those people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it was a very different experience than the Guns N' Roses experience.
They didn't throw your T-shirt either.
They did not throw my T-shirt. Exactly. I got bullied. That's a different story. That's a Tesla. I was bringing up my bullied experience. All right, want to switch to the inside the Salisbury Center?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
All right, keep
You
on
wanna go
rolling.
first?
All right, so we just went outside of the Salisbury Center. Now these are shows inside of the Salisbury Center, and I will say that this is hard because I've fallen in love with a lot of great local acts.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
almost for that reason, I feel like I've steered away actually from the local acts that I know because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But like I feel like there's just so many shout outs that I could give.
Canceled.
So I feel like I've loved this over the past year because I've been exposed to a lot of great new stuff. But with that being said, I'm going to start with my number 3 with Jimmy's Chicken Shack because
that's a good choice.
they were just solid that night. And they
were good.
They fought through all of the strobe lights that was flying out.
Let's go. They did sound good.
Yeah, Jimmy Haha eventually found his guitar again after the first song and picked up and just moved right on. And the most gracious guys, and they were so gracious to my stepson. So thank you, Jimmy, for that, for your hospitality and your graciousness. You are a beast, and that was just such a fun night.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I had the Road Ducks,
Oh, that's a good call.
number 3.
Yep.
And a lot of what drove some of my decisions were the conversations that we got to have with the bands, and that interview with. I mean, we've had a ton of great interviews. So I don't want to offend anybody that we've talked to. Same way,
Right.
But Jay Nedry was just a thrill to talk with. Got to hear having been around this area for so long.
Yes.
And him owning Jack's, and it was just great to get that perspective and have him talk about music and the history of the area.
Yep.
And then put on a great show.
Institutional knowledge.
Absolutely.
Thick institutional knowledge of rock and roll in Northern Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go counterclockwise, and we'll go to Mr. Salisbury now next on his number 3. This I'm dying to hear yours.
I thought Scott was gonna go.
Well, I mean, we went in reverse order, so we can let Scott go first.
All right.
We'll
You
stick
want to
with
see?
yours.
Yeah,
So
go
now
ahead.
I'm blurring what happened with the summer. But
He's trying to call out one from.
Oh yeah,
before
don't
the
mention
summer.
that one yet because
Okay.
I like that one a lot. But I would say you can remind me. I showed up super late to this one, so I actually got to experience it. I like the Doors tribute band.
Okay, cool.
Actually, they were great.
They were amazing.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
Like the dude played the character all the way through.
Was it Light My Fire? Is that what they called, or what's
remember,
their
Jeff?
No, the Ultimate Doors.
the ultimate?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just make sure we get the right tribute act.
Yes.
Like for the shout out. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys were fantastic.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It wasn't a real big crowd, but they
Yeah,
still
they were
brought
awesome.
it, and they sounded great. I mean, they even have like the refurbished exact same instruments from the '60s. Yeah, they're really good.
That's cool. Very
Yep.
cool.
I'd like to get them back. We just got to put them on a bill with somebody else until we can start building up some of the stuff. But man, they were really good.
Okay.
But they didn't make my top 3, unfortunately.
Yeah. You guys will have seen more in here than we have. I feel like we've seen a lot. But
Yeah,
you guys had
yeah.
to be here for it all. So like this is good. The opposite of the external internal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think for me, I was going to go with them. But Jimmy Haha.
Oh, the Shack. We
cheers.
agree. Look at that. Me
Yep,
and Jeff
yep.
Salisbury agree on something.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. So how many times have you seen the Shack over the years?
Only like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you've seen them all too much. Like where you know me, like
I
I
saw
see
them at
them every-
Hammerjacks a couple times.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
you feel like they've lost a step?
I mean, they're 25, 30 years older than
Sure.
they were,
Yeah, but I don't feel like they have.
I
feel
don't think they have.
Yeah.
They haven't lost anything as far as like the band and the musicianship. But I mean, Jimmy has a hard time walking around, and he was a spry, super skinny, energetic,
dreads. He had the dreads.
like he was a machine back in the day.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he just can't be the same person that he was 30 years ago.
Right.
He still sounds great. I mean, those guys' musicianship and just their sound, everything they were right on. And even the show was great, even though Jimmy didn't move around now the way that he did back then.
Sure.
he still puts on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
I mean, he interacts with the crowd, jokes with the crowd. I think that's a common theme for like the Baltimore scene.
Yeah.
Is like they like to really get into it with the crowd and make the crowd a part of the show.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, excellent. All right. Oh, was it me? Not you. Like, you're giving me the look. Like, what the hell are you waiting for? Look. All right. Number 2, Days of 5, baby. Oh, I'm going with a homer.
This is rigged.
I'm
This
going
is
with
rigged.
a homer. I am so going with a homer.
Somebody should have vetted this.
Look, man, that's like, I'm being selfish. I'll continue to be selfish because that was like a night of my life. That was a night of my life. That was like just when like, you know, life is fading. You know what I mean?
You didn't see that show, so
I was gonna say,
but I lived
I guess
that
he saw it
show.
through the eyes.
I lived that show.
You couched it properly. What's your favorite show from the Salisbury? Not that you saw.
No, I saw it through my eyes outwardly, like different, like from the whole different lens.
Perspective.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly. And it was. I say it's like, I don't know if you saw that show on HBO, 100-Foot Wave. Like when these dudes catch those 100-foot waves. And then, of course, like if they miss it, it's going to kill them. You know what I mean? But if they hit it, it's awesome.
Right.
I feel like I caught a 100-foot wave that night.
Yeah.
That was just so I had to give props just for the evening.
You guys were awesome.
Even if the band sucked, I had like the time of my life. So I'm going to take that. That's look. When my number 1 comes up, and you probably know it by now, it's going to be obvious. But like, I can't like. You know, I can't just discredit not having that experience. So that's why that's my number 2. And if you haven't seen Days of 5, you should, because they're amazing. All right.
Absolutely.
Kevin.
Jimmy.
All right. Look at that.
The Shack.
All right. Yeah. Going with the Shack.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
And I hadn't ever seen him before.
Jimmy's
so
getting a
that
lot
was,
of love.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nope.
You were never at an
I
HF festival, like in the side stages? Really?
I had little kids and shit
Damn.
back then.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's that gap in time where
Wow.
it was rare. It was something big like Metallica or Motley Crue.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I wasn't able to. Not that I wasn't able. but
Right.
Just had.
You had too much going on.
Yeah.
You had life.
Yep.
I'm like thrilled I was there with you with that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, cool.
I got blinded by the lights too. And I thought it was great. The guy that was trying to get him to play. What was
the Doors, Roadhouse Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you remember the dude that was trying to pay $40 to get him to play Roadhouse
Yes.
Blues?
so funny.
That's the good thing about the local concerts. You get stuff like that.
And Jimmy Haha handled that like a champion. This guy was running up and like just throwing 20s at Jimmy Haha to play Roadhouse Blues. And Jimmy was just so slick about it. He's like, we just don't know the song. Like, we're not a cover band. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then he was like, just take your $40 and buy somebody a drink, because the guy was persistent as hell. He just kept like coming back up. He's like, come on, man, just play that song. Just play that song. So evidently he loved Jimmy's Chicken Shack, just he didn't love the song that Jimmy's Chicken Shack was playing.
And he didn't need the money for his own.
Yeah, they played a little riff.
They did. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They kind of figured it out like, a couple songs later.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Yeah. We got Scott.
Okay. I'm going back to January. I know it's not technically summer.
Man, look at you. Scott's not a rule follower.
Every single day for me is summer, you know? I don't go to school anymore. So, and they played here many times before. I actually fell in love with them like 2 years ago.
My red ink is about ready to just slash through this answer.
I'm going to get canceled. But
yeah.
the Four Horsemen Metallica tribute band.
All right, nice. Yeah. So look, they just
were
lit up
awesome.
Kevin. Now you're going to piss off Kevin. Because he played by the rules.
I would have said all the same things you guys said. We got to switch it up.
That was a good show.
It was a good show.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. All right.
Number 2,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Days of 5.
Yeah, love it. Yes, it is.
How did you know? What do you think it is?
I'm
Chip, baby.
Oh, yep.
Enough's enough.
Yeah, yep,
Another great interview.
yep.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic. I know, right? That's a whole nother category. And that's something we'll have to reflect back on at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to do your top 3 interviews too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another day.
Exactly. Because right, I have to.
Because that was a great interview, but so was Road Ducks.
Yes. Oh, Kevin. You.
Jay is a master of just everything to do with promotions and marketing and bands, and you know, he's got his shit together.
And for someone that has been around as long as he has and has met a million musicians, a million different people, the names that he was pulling and remembers almost seemingly everybody.
And he remembers in detail.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he remembers the conversations like word for word almost. He's sharp.
But getting back to Chip, like just in terms of the performance, like he's the real deal. Like it's a very genuine performance. And then with the interview, he came across also as very genuine.
Yep.
And again, like no backing tracks, like you get what you get with him. And he's proud of that, speaks to that.
Yep.
So it was it was just a solid.
Yeah, they sounded great.
Yeah.
I know everybody wants to complain about Donnie's got to sing, And granted, that is really enough with Donnie singing, but he sounded great. The song sounded great. It was a really, really good concert.
Right.
I mean, and he was great with the crowd. He stuck around personally, hawking his souvenirs and T-shirts and all of his swag.
Yeah.
Just like talking to everybody, shaking hands and signing. He was awesome.
The real deal. He's just the real deal.
Yep.
All right, cool. Number one, obviously I'm going because I would not have caught that 100-foot wave without these guys.
Yeah.
And I loved them, everybody. You heard me talking about Dewey Beach, but they were just as strong here. I
think they were better here.
I was going to say, like, I don't know, it's hard to separate the shows, like they're just always so solid and so good.
My balls were less sweaty here.
Really? Because there was a lot going on that night. Like you had a packed house. You had a packed birthday party. I mean, that's another.
It was packed up here. Everything. Yeah. I mean, we had a lot more people here, but it was indoors and not out.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm giving credit to this Kick show too, because it's about you too. Because it was just such a momentous. Momentous event for you, and I was so happy for you that night.
Yeah.
That's a part of it. It really added to the joy of the show. So in terms of the crowd experience, I love you, my brother, and it was amazing.
Love you.
Experience.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Same.
All right, they made that easy. You even got the same art department there
I know.
working for you.
I have to pay him extra.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Another great interview.
Yeah, it was. Yep, that was. And I tell you, that was nervous as hell on that interview. Yeah, like that was.
If only Steven would have been able to be on.
Yeah.
That would have just put it over the top.
Yes.
Not that they were great.
Yeah.
But he's just got the frontman character, You talk about top frontmen.
Oh yeah. Oh, underrated. Like extremely underrated frontman.
Corey Glover or Steven Whiteman.
You know me.
Steven Whiteman.
I hate to say it, but I got to go Corey.
Steven.
I got to go Corey. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say I thought that the beginning of the interview where they didn't, when we asked them about the big news and there was like crickets. I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a fun interview. But then they opened up and it was just a great conversation.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, it was nice to have Jimmy talking, because we were at that show where he had his heart attack.
Yep.
And we witnessed that happening. And obviously you had a family connection to it where, your son jumped in to help out. So there's a very personal tie into that. And then to me, I agree. Like he totally opened up in the middle of that interview and really started talking. And it was just great to see Jimmy Chalfant talking that way.
And you said it right. It was a conversation, not an interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was great.
Okay, can I break the rule one more time so I don't agree with you?
Oh man, here we go. Like, are you going back to the winter also?
I'm going back to October now. Otherwise, I would say Kicks.
Wait,
Dude,
that's 2022.
I will agree with you by all
If you
means.
say any
Kicks is
show's
number
better-
one show here, but I want to bring somebody else to the spotlight.
You're like you would get a 33% on this test.
I'll take it.
All right,
I'll take it.
All right.
That's what he got in school also.
Honestly, that's why I'm here. Yeah. I would say Livewire AC/DC tribute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were really good
Utterly
too.
incredible.
I remember that show. That was fun.
Yeah, we've had some really good shows. For sure.
Yep.
And speaking of that, coming up on September the 23rd at the Salisbury Center, Night Train International.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
So Guns N' Roses fans.
We got our swag on. We're
That's
like,
right.
geared for it now.
Yes. So come on out and check out Night Train International.
Yeah.
I'll be at Lita Ford, but
Oh, that's right. Well, I'll be leaving for it too.
What's
Damn.
yours, Jeff? Number one.
How rude.
Yeah, I forgot about
Of
that.
course, Kicks.
Oh. What's your honorable mention?
And it was your birthday.
I mean that's like number 1 through 50. Like that show
It was magical.
exceeded my expectations for everything. It was on my actual birthday. I've always wanted, as long as I've been doing promotions, I've always wanted to do a Kick show. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we got this, I told my brother, I don't care if I lose money. I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna have Kicks here.
Yeah.
And we got him here. It was on my birthday. Like family here, all my friends except for Chris Barr and of course Bob, who passed. Rest in peace, Bob Zing.
Yep.
But I think everybody from high school, all of our crew of really good friends was here. It was just an unbelievable night. And then Kicks, like they sounded incredible.
Showed up.
Everything was awesome.
You know, like kind of getting into more of the details of that show. That's kind of when I really started acknowledging Bob Paré. You know, like as a good. I mean, it was really hard for me to watch Ronnie Yalkins get replaced because I've been such a fan of him for such a long time. But then, like, you know, it was really that night, you know, that I really kind of like looked up at him and I was like, yeah, he is solid. He is as solid could be.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like you can still have great musicians replace great musicians.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and you got to give them credit because they're just different. You know, Bob's way different than Ronnie. Ronnie sort of brought the party.
Yeah, gritty.
Yeah.
A Keith Richards feel.
Yeah. Yeah, real like the Baltimore rock scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like he and Steve are the epitome of the Baltimore rock scene. Just kind of gritty, not really rednecky, but you know, just like blue collar, working class, awesome. Like somebody you want to hang out with after the concert for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And considering the news that came out just prior to them being here, it wouldn't have happened.
Right.
Had it not happened that night. So
right. Absolutely.
So that was all the stars aligned.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, we were hanging on that, seeing if Jimmy was going to come back and where that was going to land, and it did. And it landed in a big way.
For sure.
So there we go. That's a big summer celebration right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Very good.
Still a bunch of stuff coming up too. You know, we're going to see Billy Idol here in a little bit over a week.
We are.
Then Greta.
Yes. Greta Van Fleet.
And the next episode of the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show on September the 13th.
Yes.
We're going to have a special guest in the studio.
Our friend Jeff Broadnax he played at some point with Egypt, 24/7 Spies, and then he right now is in Shock Mafia, is a band that he's just starting up. They have a great new tune out, Reaching for Sunshine. If you haven't heard it, it is a strong song in that vein, you know, in that line of rock and roll.
Yeah, so be great conversation here in the studio with him.
Yeah, we get to see where Shock Mafia is going and, you know, where they're playing and really the formation of that band almost. I know they were looking for a bass player back in June, so we'll see if that formed and where they're sitting right now.
Yeah, and then the Sunday after that day is the Kicks finale.
Yes, yeah, that's crazy. That might displace some of our top threes. You know,
happy and sad occasion.
Right, right.
Yeah, so still a little bit more to come.
Yep.
There's always the live music, so.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we're good, huh?
I think so.
Oh, also we just booked Trans-Siberian Orchestra tribute band.
Really? Nice.
1224.
That is news to me. Oh, look at that on
December.
Christmas Eve.
No, the band's name was 1224.
Oh, I thought it was like, damn, like you're having a show here on Christmas Eve. Check that out.
No, that's the name of the band. The date is December 8th.
Okay. All right.
Friday night. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, there's so many other bands that, like, you know, inside the soul, I would love to give love to. F It All, you know, Age of Ruin for sure, Ladder Match, you know, just
Medicine Man.
Yeah,
Medicine Man's going to do a show in November.
Seculos, Evic.
Gavin Evic.
Yeah, and Reflex is going to do an 80s night for the Class of 88 reunion, November 18th.
Yes, exactly. We will be
That
there.
should be a good
We'll
night.
be there at that night.
Yeah. Where's all the young people at?
Who cares about the young people? They're not coming here. Until we start getting some oonce.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. And
we'll see you in a couple weeks. We sent out social media events so that remind you that on September 13th, we will be talking to Jeff Broadnax. That'll be a great interview, great conversation, and a great way to, we should talk about some new music towards the end of the year also.
They can call in also if they want to call in to talk to Jeff.
Love that. Yeah.
We can talk about the new Dirty Honey.
What is it? 855-77 Wild. Yeah.
All right.
WYLDE.
77 Wild with a Y.
And an E.
Yes, and an E.
Awesome. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Stand Up and Shout Rock Show. See ya.